मनसौरसेना रोमाञ्चकम्पासुतरङ्गबाजो वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् श्रीविग्रहाराधननित्यनाना सिङ्गारतान्मान्दिरमजनादो युक्तस्य भक्तां च नियुञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् चतुर्विधासी भगवत्प्रसादा स्वादान्न तृप्तान् हरिभक्तसङ्गान् कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजता सदैव वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवयोरपारा माधुर्यलीला गुणरूपनाम्नाम् प्रतीक्षणा स्वादनलोलुपास्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् निकुञ्जयूनो रतिकेलिसिद्ध्यै यायालिबे युक्तेरपेक्षणीया तत्रातिदाक्षात् अतिवल्लभास्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् साक्षादरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तास्तथा भाव्यत एव साध्वी किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायान् सुवांस्तस्य यशस्त्रीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरु श्रीचरणारविन्दम् नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौ भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौ भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhava Radha Nila Madhava Radhe. Jayo Jagannatha Jayo Baladeva Jayo Subhadrama Jayo Sudarshana. Jayo Sitaram Jayo Sitaram Jayo Sitaram Jayo Lakshmana Hanuman. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha. Jayo Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Guru Deva Jayo Guru Deva Jayo Guru Deva Jayo Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Shripad Brahmamsa Pajakacharya Shtota Shata Shishma Divine Grace. Abhar Chandravrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBTB, I found Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Shnupada Brahmamsa Prajaka Acharya Shtota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premisika Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Kili Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Chaitra Jagannath-puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premahanande Hari. Samarita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladaladaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatanka nakalaye. Ito narsimha parato narsimha. Narsimha parato. Yato yato yami tato narsimha. Bahe narsimho hrudaye narsimho. Narasimhamadim sharanam prapade. Tava kara kamalavare nakam adbhuta shringam dalita hiranyakashipu tanubringam keshavadrita narahari rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jayo Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jayo Narasimha Dev, Jayo Narasimha Dev, Jayo Narasimha Dev, Jayo Narasimha Dev. जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जयो भक्ता प्रहलाद जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभु जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा स्वामी की जय जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय पियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवती नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय पियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवती नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशव सच विष्णु भक्ति पदे देवी सत्यवती नमो नमः वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय
नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्णा प्रेयसी 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 नमो नमः राधा कृष्णा सेवा पावो अभिलाषी राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो अभिलाषी राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो अभिलाषी राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो अभिलाषी ये तुम्हार शरण लो तारा वांछ पूर्ण हो ये तुम्हार शरण लो तारा वांछ पूर्ण हो कृपा कोरी कोरो तारे वृंदावन वासी कृपा कोरी कोरो तारे वृंदावन वासी मोराए अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो वास मोराए अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो वास नयने हेरी सदा युगल रूप रासीनय हरि बो सदा युगल रूप रासी এই নিবেদন ধারো সখিরানুগত করো এই নিবেদন সখিরানুগত কো সেবাধিকার দিয়ে করো নিজ দাসী দিয়ে করো নিজ দাসী দীনা কৃষ্ণ দাসে কো এ নমো রাহো দীনা नमो राहो श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा न भासी श्री राधा गोविंद भासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा न भासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा न बासी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिण पदे पदे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय वृंदे देवी 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 जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Dev Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyaय Namo Namaha Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyaय Namo Shri Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyaय Namo Namaha Vrindaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyaय Namo Namaha Shri Vrindaya Tulasi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyaय Namo Namaha Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyaय Namo वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय।
Grant me residence in precious groves of Shiva and Dhamma. Thus within my vision I shall behold the beautiful person Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow Kara Danso's Virgin. Please give me the privilege devotional service and make me my own maidservant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always feel the love Shri Radha and Govinda Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in the matter of chanting holy name to be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their life for propagating holy name the Lord. 2. To consider the name demigods like Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature pursuing the Vedic version. 5. To consider glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to holy name the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities and strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna when the auspiciously choose the activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, karma, ganda. 9. To instruct a faith express about glorious holy name. 10. To adopt complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after studying so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success, Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees, the Lord. They are just deities who can fulfill to everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Pudivardhanam Pratipadam Purunamita Sadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Paramvijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadishi Tavakripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudeva Midisham Yaha Janina Nurakaha Trinatapi Sunijena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadaharihi Na Thanam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitamba Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishvare Pavatat Bhaktir Haituki Tvai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Ham Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stithaduri Satesham Vichintaya Nayanam Galadashru Dharaya Vadanam Katkata Rudaya Kira Pulaka Nichitam Vapurkada Tava Nama Kahane Pavishati Yuga Itam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravisha Itam Shunya Itam Jagasarvam Govinda Virahe Name Ashirishava Padaratam Pinnastumam Adarshanam Harmahatam Karotuva Yatha Tatha Va Vidatatu Lampato Matprana Natastu Saeva Na Paraha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction of humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction of human beings, that you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, they invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out kindness enables us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I'm so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, think oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more taller than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. Only want your causeless devotion service, birth after birth. O Son of Marjananda Krishna, I'm an eternal servitor. Yet somehow I have fallen in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me at one of the Adam's lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, why my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? Why my voice choke up or hurts my body stand end the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation comes a moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace. All makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything, everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Shri Mangala Aarti Prayers Ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Litam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachadesha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshapanivi Devi Daidaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryo Chala Prematya Shri Rupa Nukha Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruta Pasiddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Saksha Vairagya Murtaye Vipalambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Svarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhuvestvam Nirdeshta Sajanapriyaha Vaishnava Sarabhoma Shri Jagannataya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patidanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Pancha Tattvatamukam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindo Dinabando Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Srato Pango Mamamanda Materkati Masarvasa Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Divindadanya Kalpadu Mada Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtari Bi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarampi Vam Shiva Tatatastitaha Karsham Venu Suner Gopir Gopinatha Shiyestunaham Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Mangala Chana prayers ki jai. Shri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasukopaviksha Lakshariteshu Surabhi Rabi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahasa Shatasam Brahmasevyamanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venum Kavanantam Aravinda Dalaya Daksham Parhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shopam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chandakala Savanamada Vamshi Ranangadam Panayakeri Kalavilasam Shamam Tripanga Laditam Yata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vriddhimanti Pashanti Panti Kadayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimmaya Satujala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durabam Adurabam Atma Bhakta Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Pantastu Koti Shatavassara Sampragamyo Vayuratapi Manaso Munipangavaanam Sopyasti Yapapata Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ekopya Sara Chaitum Chakatanta Kotim Ya Chakti Rasti Chakatanta Chayaya Dantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yad Bhava Bhavitadiyo Manujastateva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasanayana Bhushaha Suktaryam Eva Nigama Patitai Stuvanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananda Chimme Rasa Patibhavitapis Tapiya Evan Jarupa Tayakalapihi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churuta Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sateva Hidayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundam Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ramadi Murtishu Kalanyamena Tishtan Nanavataram Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samapavat Parama Pumamyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami. Krishna, who is not Govinda, the Supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
First progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gem, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primary lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shamasundara is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas but obtainable by pure and unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha. It is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him and is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas taught by the Vedas by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveniences, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm Goloka with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities in the company of her confident Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shamasundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in the heart of hearts with eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions. Sri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 7.1 Purport. Shrinvatam swakata Krishna punyasravana kirtanaha hridayanta histo hi abhadrani vidinoti suhritsatam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastama bhavata kama lobhazdayaschayi चेत एतेर्नावेदं सितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते विद्यते हृदयाग्रन्थेश्चिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as the best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamsayam Samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of God at Bhagavata 1.2.17 to 21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 43. Prekshayitva bhuvo golam patnai yavan swa samastayam baha ascharyam mahayogi swasramaya nyavartata. Prekshayitva, after showing Bhuva of the universe, Golam, the globe, Patnai, to his wife, Yavan, as much, Swasamstaya, with its arrangements, Bahu Ascharyam, full of many wonders, Mahayogi, the great yogi, Kardama, Swa Ashramaya, to his own hermitage. Nyavartata, returned. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After showing his wife the globe of the universe and its different arrangements full of many wonders, the great yogi Kardama Muni returned to his own hermitage. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All the planets are here described as Gola, round. Every planet is round, and each planet is a different shelter, just like islands in the great ocean. Planets are sometimes called Dvipa or Varsha. This Earth planet is called Bharata Varsha because it was ruled by King Bharata. Another significant word used in this verse is Bhava Ascharya, many wonderful things. This indicates that the different planets are distributed all over the universe in the 8 directions, and each and every one of them is wonderful in itself. Each planet has its particular climatic influences and particular types of inhabitants and is completely equipped with everything, including the beauty of the seasons. In the Brahma Samhita 5.40, it is similarly stated Vibhuti Bhinnam. On each and every planet, there are different opulences. It cannot be expected that one planet is exactly like another. By God's grace, by nature's law, each and every planet is made differently and has different wonderful features. All such wonders were personally experienced by Kardama Muni while he travelled with his wife. Yet he could return again to his humble hermitage. He showed his princess wife that although he was living in the hermitage, he had the power to go everywhere and do anything by mystic yoga. That is the perfection of yoga. One cannot become a perfect yogi simply by showing some sitting postures, nor by such sitting postures or so called meditation can one become God, as is being advertised. Foolish persons are misled into believing that simply by some caricature of meditation and sitting postures one can become God within 6 months. Here is an example of a perfect yogi. He could travel all over the universe. Similarly, there is a description of Durvasa Muni, who also traveled in space. Actually, the perfect yogi can do that. But even if one can travel all over the universe and show wonderful feats like Kardama Muni, he cannot be compared to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose power and inconceivable energy can never be attained by any conditioned or liberated soul. By the actions of Kardama Muni, we can understand that in spite of his immense mystic power, he remained a devotee of the Lord. That is the real position of every living entity.
Text 44. Vibhajya navadaatmanam manavi surato chukam ramam niramayan reme varsha pugan muhurtavat. Vibhajya, having divided Navada into 9, Atmanam himself, Manavim, the daughter of Manu Devahuti, Surata for sex life, Utchukam, who was eager, Ramam to his wife, Niramayan, giving pleasure, Reme enjoyed, Varshapugan for many years, Muhurtavat, like a moment. Translation. After coming back to his hermitage, he divided himself into 9 personalities just to give pleasure to Devahuti, the daughter of Manu, who was eager for sex life. In that way, he enjoyed with her for many, many years, which passed just like a moment. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Here, the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, Devahuti, is described as Surotochuka. After traveling with her husband all over the universe, in Mount Meru, the beautiful gardens of the heavenly kingdom, she naturally became sexually stimulated. And in order to satisfy her sexual desire, Kardama Muni expanded himself into 9 forms. Instead of 1, he became 9. And 9 persons had sexual intercourse with Devahuti for many, many years. It is understood that the sexual appetite of a woman is 9 times greater than that of a man. That is clearly indicated here. Otherwise, Kardama Muni would have had no reason to expand himself into 9. Here is another example of yogic power. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead can expand himself in millions of forms, a yogi can also expand to 9 forms, but none more than that. Another example is that of a Saubari Muni. He also expanded himself into 8 forms, but however powerful a yogi may be, He cannot expand himself into more than 8 or 9 forms. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, can expand himself into millions of forms. Ananta Rupa, innumerable, countless forms. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, no one can compare to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any conceivable energetic manifestation of power.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 45. Tasmin vimana utkrustam sayyam ratikarim srita na chabudyata tam kalam patya pityena saggata. Tasmin, in that, vimane, airplane, utkrustam, excellent, sayyam, a bed, ratikarim, increasing sexual desires, srita, situated on, na, not, cha, and abudyata, she noticed, tam, that, kalam, time, patya, with her husband, apichena, most handsome, sangata, in company. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In that aerial mansion, Devahuti, in the company of her handsome husband, situated on an excellent bed that increased sexual desires, could not realize how much time was passing. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sex indulgence is so enjoyable for materialistic people that when they engage in such activities, they forget how time is passing. Saint Kardama and Devahuti, in their sex indulgence, also forgot how time was passing by.
Text 46. Evam yoganubhavinam dampatyorama manayohu satam vyatiyu sharadaha kamalalasayormanak. Evam, thus, yoga anubhavena, by yogic powers, dampatya, the couple, rama manayo, while enjoying themselves, satam, 100, vyatiyu, past, sharadaha, items, kama, sexual pleasure, lala sayo, who are eagerly longing for, manak, like a short time. Translation: while the couple who eagerly longed for sexual desires were thus enjoying themselves by virtue of what? Yes, while the couple who eagerly longed for sexual pleasure were thus enjoying themselves by virtue of mystic powers, 100 atoms pass like a brief span of time.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 47. Tasyam adattaretastam bhavayan atmanatmavit noda vidyaya rupam swam sarva sankalpa vibhuhu. Tasyam, in her, adatta, he deposited, reta, cement, tam, her, bhavayan, regarding atmana as half of himself, atmavet, a knower of spirit soul, noda, into 9, vidhaya, having divided, rupam, body, swam, his own, sarva sankalpavid, the knower of all desires, vibhuhu, the powerful Kadama. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The powerful Kadama Muni was the knower of everyone's heart, and he could grant whatever one desired. Knowing the spiritual soul, he regarded her as half of his body. Dividing himself into 9 forms, he impregnated Devati with 9 discharges of semen. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Since Kardama Muni could understand that Devhuti wanted many children, at the first chance he begot 9 children at one time. He is described here as Vibhu, the most powerful master. By his yogic power, he could at once produce 9 daughters in the womb of Devahuti.
Text 48. Atasa sushive sadyo devahuti striya prajaham sarvastascharu sarvagnyo lohitotpala gandayaham. Atah, then sa, she, Susuve, gave birth, Sadhya, on the same day, Devahuti, Striya, females, Prajaha, progeny, Sarvaha, all, Tah, they, Charu Sarva Angyaha, charming in every limb, Lohita, red, Utpala, like the lotus, Gandayaha, fragrant. Translation: immediately afterward, on the same day, Devahuti gave birth to 9 female children, all charming in every limb and fragrant with the scent of red lotus flower. purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devahuti was too sexually excited and therefore she discharged more ova and 9 daughters were born. It is said in the Smriti Shastra as well as in the Ayurveda that when the discharge of the male is greater, male children are begotten. But when the discharge of the female is greater, female children are begotten. It appears from the circumstances that Devahuti was more sexually excited, and therefore she had 9 daughters at once. All the daughters, however, were very beautiful, and their bodies were nicely formed. Each resembled a lotus flower and was fragrant like a lotus.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 49. Patim sa pravarajishyantam tada laksho sati bahi swayamana viklavena hrudayena viduyata. Patim, her husband, sa, she, pravrajishyantam, going to leave home, tada, then, alaksha, after seeing, usati, beautiful, bahi, outwardly, smaya, smayavamana, smiling, viklavena, agitated, hrudayena, with a heart, viduyata, being distressed. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When she saw her husband about to leave home, she smiled externally, but at heart she was agitated and distressed. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kadam Muni finished his household affairs quickly by his mystic power. The building of the castle in the air, traveling all over the universe with his wife, in the company of beautiful girls, and begetting of children were finished. And now, according to his promise, to leave home for his real concern of spiritual realization after impregnating his wife. He was about to go away. Seeing her husband about to leave, Devahuti was very disturbed. But to satisfy her husband, she was smiling. The example of Kardam Muni should be understood very clearly. A person whose concern is Krishna consciousness, even if he is entrapped in household life, should always be ready to leave household enticement as soon as possible.
Text 50. Likanti ado mukhi bhumim pradhanakha manistriya uvacha lalitam vacham nirudyashru kalam sanaihi. Likanti, scratching, adah mukhi, her head bent down, bhumim, the ground, pada, with her foot, naka, nails, mani, gem-like, shriya, with radiant, Vacha, she spoke, lalitam, charming, vacham, accents, nirudya, suppressing, ashrukalam, tears, senai, slowly. Translation. She stood and scratched the ground with her foot, which was radiant with the luster of her gem-like nails. Her head bent down, she spoke in slow yet charming accents, suppressing her tears. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devahuti was so beautiful that her toenails appeared just like pearls, and as she scratched the ground, it appeared as if pearls had been thrown on the ground. When a woman scratches the ground with her foot, it is a sign that her mind is very disturbed. These signs were sometimes exhibited by the gopis before Krishna. When the gopis came in the dead of night and Krishna asked them to return to their homes, the gopis also scratched the ground like this because their minds were very disturbed.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 51. Devahutir uvacha sarvam tad bhagavan mahyam upavocha pratisrutam atapi me prapannaya abhayam datum arhasi. Devahuti uvacha said, sarvam, all, tad, that, Bhagavan, your lordship, mahyam, for me, upavoha, has been fulfilled, pratisrutam, promised, ata api, yet, me, unto me, prapannayai, unto one who has surrendered, abhayam, fearlessness, dhatum, to give, arhasi, you deserve. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Devahuti said, my lord, you have fulfilled all the promises you gave me, yet because I am your surrendered soul, you should give me fearlessness too. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devahuti requested her husband to grant her something without fear. As a wife, she was fully concerned soul to her husband, and it is the responsibility of the husband to give his wife fearlessness. How one awards fearlessness to his subordinate is mentioned in the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. One who cannot get free from the clutches of death is dependent, and he should not become a spiritual master, nor a husband, nor a kinsman, nor a father, nor a mother, etc. It is the duty of the superior to give fearlessness to the subordinate, to take charge of someone, therefore, either as father, mother, spiritual master, relative, or husband. One must accept the responsibility to give his ward freedom from the fearful situation of material existence. Material existence is always fearful and full of anxiety. Devahuti is saying, "You have given me all sorts of material comforts by your yogic power. And since you are now prepared to go away, you must give me your last award so that I can get free from this material conditioned life."
Text 52, end of 3, chapter 23. Brahman duhirtrabhistubhyam vimrugya pataya samaha kaschit syanme vishokaya tvayi pravrajite vanam. Brahman, my dear Brahmana, duhitribhi, by the daughters themselves, tubhyam, for you, vimrugyaha, to be found out, patayaha, husband, samaha, suitable, kaschit, someone, sad, there should be, may, my, vishokaya, for solace, twayi, when you, pravrajite, reported, vanam, to the forest. Translation: My dear Brahmana, as far as your daughters are concerned, they will find their own suitable husbands and go away to their respective homes. But who will give me solace after your departure as sannyasi? Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is said that the father himself becomes the son in another form. The father and son are therefore considered to be non-different. A widow who has her son is actually not a widow, because she has a representative of her husband. Similarly, Devahuti is indirectly asking Kardama Muni to leave a representative so that in his absence she might be relieved of her anxieties by a suitable son. A householder is not expected to remain at home for all his days. After getting his sons and daughters married, a householder can retire from household life, leaving his wife in the charge of grown-up sons. That is the social convention of the Vedic system. Devahuti is indirectly asking that in his absence from home there be at least one male child to give her relief from her anxieties. This relief means spiritual instruction. Relief doesn't mean material comforts. Material comforts will end with the end of the body, but spiritual instruction will not end. It will go on with the spirit soul. Instruction in spiritual advancement is necessary. But without having a worthy son, how could Devahuti advance in spiritual knowledge? It is the duty of the husband to liquidate his debt to his wife. The wife gives her sincere service to the husband, and he becomes indebted to her, because one cannot accept service from his subordinate without giving him something in exchange. The spiritual master cannot accept service from a disciple without awarding him spiritual instruction. That is the reciprocation of love and duty. Thus, Devahuti reminds her husband Kardama Muni that she has rendered him faithful service. Even considering the situation on the basis of liquidating his debt toward his wife, he must give a male child before he leaves. Indirectly, Devahuti requests her husband to remain at home few days more, or at least a male child is born.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 53. Etavatalam kalena vyatikrattena me prabhu indriyartha prasangena pratikyakta paratmanah. Etavata, so much. Alam, for nothing. Kalena, time. Vyatikrantena, passed by me, my Prabhu, O my Lord. Indriya artha, sense gratification. Prasangena, in the matter of indulging. Pratiyakta, disregarding. Para atmanaha, knowledge of the Supreme Lord. This is translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Until now, we have simply wasted so much of our time in sense gratification, neglecting to cultivate knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Human life is not meant to be wasted like that of the animals in sense gratificatory activities. Animals always engage in sense gratification, eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But that is not the engagement of the human being, although because of the beautiful material body, there is no need of sense gratification according to a regulative principle. So, in effect, Devati said to her husband, "So far we have these daughters, and we have enjoyed material life in the aerial mansion, traveling all over the universe. These boons have come by your grace, but they all have all been for sense gratification. Now there must be something for my spiritual advancement."
Text with 4 Canto 3 Chapter 23. Indriyadesu sajjantya prasangastvai me kritaha ajanantya param bhavam tadapi asu abhayaya me. Indriyardeshu, to sense gratification, sajjantya, being attached, prasangaha, affinity, tvayi, for you, me, by me, kritaha, was done, ajanantya, not knowing, param bhavam, your transcendent situation, tadapi, nonetheless, astu, let it be, abhayaya, for fearlessness, may, my translation, not knowing your transcendental situation, I have loved you while remaining attached to the objects of senses. Nonetheless, let the affinity I have developed for you rid me of all fear. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devahuti is lamenting her position. As a woman, she had to love someone. Somehow or the other, she came to love Kardama Muni, but without knowing of his spiritual advancement. Kardama Muni could understand Devahuti's heart. Generally, all women desire material enjoyment. They are called less intelligent because they are mostly prone to material enjoyment. Devahuti laments because her husband had given her the best kind of material enjoyment, but she did not know that she was so advanced in spiritual realization. Her plea was that even though she did not know the glories of her great husband, because she had taken shelter of him, she must be delivered from material entanglement. Association with a great personality is most important. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says that Sadhu Sangha, the association of a great saintly person, is very important, because even if one is not advanced in knowledge, simply by association with a great saintly person, one can immediately make considerable advancement in spiritual life. As a woman, as an ordinary wife, Devahuti became attached to Kardama Muni in order to satisfy her sense enjoyment and other material necessities. But actually, she associated with a great personality. Now she understood this and she wanted to utilize the advantage of the association of her great husband. Text 55. Sangaya samsrutir hetur asatsu vito diya saeva sadhuso kruto nisangatvaya kalpate. Sangaha, association, yah, which, samsrute, of the cycle of birth and death, hetu, the cause, asatsu, with those engaged in sense gratification, vihitaha, done, adiya, through ignorance, sa, the same thing, eva, certainly, sadhusu, with saintly persons, kritaha, performed, nisangatvaya, to liberation, kalpata, leads. Translation: association for sense gratification is certainly the path of bondage. But the same type of association, performed with a saintly person, leads to the path of liberation, even if performed without knowledge. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The association of a saintly person in any way bears the same result. For example, Lord Krishna met many kinds of living entities, and some treated him as an enemy, and some treated him as an agent for sense gratification. It is generally said that the gopis were attached to Krishna for sense attractions, and yet they became first-class devotees of the Lord. Kamsa, Shishupala, Dantavakra, and other demons, however, were related to Krishna as enemies. But whether they associated with Krishna as enemies or for sense gratification, out of fear, or as pure devotees, they all got liberation. That is the result of association with the Lord. Even if one does not understand who He is, the results have the same efficacy. Association with a great saintly person who results in liberation, just as whether one goes toward fire knowingly or unknowingly. The fire will make one warm. Devahuti expressed her gratefulness. For although she wanted to associate with Kardama Muni only for sense gratification, because he was spiritually great, as she was sure to be liberated by his benediction. Text 56, Canto 3, Chapter 23. Nehayat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpati natirda matpada sevayai jivanapi mrita hisah. Na not iha here yet which karma work dharmaya for perfection of religious life, no not viragaya for detachment, kalpate leads, no not tirthapada of the Lord's lotus feet, sevayai to devotional service, jivan living api although murtaha dead, he indeed sahi. Translation: anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose religious ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Devahuti's statement is that since she was attached to living with her husband for sense gratification, which does not lead to liberation from material entanglement, her life was simply a waste of time. Any work one performs that does not lead to the state of religious life is useless activity. Everyone is by nature inclined to some sort of work, and when that work leads to one to religious life, and religious life leads one to renunciation, and renunciation leads one to devotional service, one attains the perfection of work. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, any work that does not lead ultimately to the standard of devotional service is a cause of bondage in the material world. Ignardat karma no nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Ignartat karma no nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Unless one is gradually elevated to the position of devotional service, beginning from his natural activity, he is to be considered a dead body. Work which does not lead one to the understanding of Krishna consciousness is considered useless. Text 57, Canto 3, Chapter 23. Saham bhagavato nunam vanchita maya dridam yatvam vimuktidam prapya na mumuksheya bandhanat. Sa, that very person, aham, I am, Bhagavata of the Lord, Nunam, surely, Vanchita cheated, Maya by the illusory energy, Tridam solidly, Yat because, Tvam you, Vimuktidam who gives liberation, Prapya having attained, Na Mumuksheya I have not sought liberation, Bandhanat for material bondage. Translation: my Lord, surely I have been sorely cheated by the insurmountable illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For in spite of having obtained your association, which gives liberation from material bondage, I did not seek such liberation. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. An intelligent man should utilize good opportunities. The first opportunity is the human form of life, and the second opportunity is to take birth in a suitable family where there is a cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is rarely obtained. The greatest opportunity is to have the association for a saintly person. Devahuti was conscious that she was born as a daughter of an emperor. She was sufficiently educated and cultured, and at last she got Kardama Muni, a saintly person and a great yogi, as her husband. Still, if she did not get liberation from the entanglement of material energy, then certainly she would be cheated by the insurmountable illusory energy. Actually, the illusory material energy is cheating everyone. People do not know what they are doing when they worship the material energy in the form of goddess Kali or Durga for material boons. They ask, Mother, give me great riches, give me a good wife, give me fame, give me victory. But such devotees of the goddess Maya or Durga do not know that they are being cheated by that goddess. Material achievement is actually no achievement, because as soon as one is illusioned by the material gifts, he becomes more and more entangled. There is no question of liberation. One should be intelligent enough to know how to utilize material assets for the purpose of spiritual realization. That is called Karma Yoga or Gnana Yoga. Whatever we have, we should use as service to the Supreme Person. It is advised in Bhagavad Gita, Swakarmanatam Abhyarchya. One should try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's assets. There are many forms of service to the Supreme Lord, and anyone can render service unto him according to the best of his ability. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of 3rd canto, 23rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Devahuti's Lamentation. Renunciation of Chapter 24, Renunciation of Kardama Muni. Text 1. Maitreya Uvacha Nirvedavadinam evam Manorduhitaram Munihi Dayalu Shalini Maha Shukla Bivyahartam Smaran. Maitreya, the great sage Maitreya, Uvacha said, Nirveda Vadinam, who was speaking words full of renunciation, Evam thus Manoh of Swayambhuva Manu, Duhitaram to the daughter, Muni, the sage Kardama, Dayalu, merciful, Shalinim, who was worthy of praise, Aha replied, Sukha by Lord Vishnu, Sukla by Lord Vishnu, Abhivahritam, what was said, Smaran, recalling. Translation, recalling the words of Lord Vishnu, the merciful sage Kardama replied as follows to Swayambhuva Manu's praiseworthy daughter Devahuti, who was speaking words full of renunciation. Text 2. Rishirivacha Ma kido rajaputri tam atmanam prati anindate Bhagavam steksharo garbam adura samprapatshyate. Rishi Vacha, the sage said, Mahakida, do not be disappointed. Rajaputri, O princess, Ittam, in this way, Atmanam, yourself, Prati, toward, Anindate, O praiseworthy Devahuti, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, The, your, Aksharaha, infallible, Garbham, Om, Adurat, without delay, Samprapachyate, will enter. Translation, the sage said, do not be disappointed with yourself, O princess. You are actually praiseworthy. The infallible Supreme Personality of Godhead will shortly enter your womb as your son. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kardama Muni encouraged his wife not to be sorry, thinking herself unfortunate because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his incarnation, was going to come from her body. Text 3. Dhrutavratasi badram te damena niyamena cha tapo dravina danaischa shraddhaya cheshwaram bhajam. Dhrita vrata ashi, you have undertaken sacred vows. Bhadram te, may God bless you. Dhamena, by control of the senses. Niyamena, by religious observances. Cha, and tapa, austerities. Dravina, of money. Danaihi, by giving in charity. Cha, and Shraddhaya, with great faith. Cha, and Ishwaram, the Supreme Lord. Bhaja, worship. Translation: you have undertaken sacred vows. God will bless you. Hence, you should worship the Lord with great faith. Through sensory control, religious observances, austerities, and gifts of your money in charity. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In order to spiritually advance or to achieve the mercy of the Lord, one must be self controlled in the following manner. He must be restrained in sense gratification and must follow the rules and regulations of religious principle. Without austerity and penance, and without sacrificing one's riches, one cannot achieve the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Kardama Muni advised his wife, you have to factually engage in devotion service with austerity and penance, following the religious principles and giving charity. Then the Supreme Lord will be pleased with you, and He will come as your son. Text 4. Satvaya radita suklo vitanvam mamakam yeshaha chettate hridaya granthim audaryo brahma bhavanaha saha hi tvaya, by you, araditaha, being worshipped, shuklaha, the personality of Godhead, Vitanvan, spreading, Mahamakam, my, Yeshaha, fame, Chetta, he will cut, The, your, Hridaya, of the heart, Granthim, not, Audaryaha, your son, Brahma, knowledge of Brahman, Bhavanaha, teaching. Translation: the personality of Godhead, being worshipped by you, will spread my name and fame. He will vanquish the knot of your heart by becoming your son and teaching knowledge of Brahman. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes to disseminate spiritual knowledge for the benefit of all people, He generally descends as the son of a devotee, being pleased by the devotee's devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Father of everyone. No one, therefore, is His Father, but by His inconceivable energy, He accepts some of the devotees as His parents and descendants. It is explained here that spiritual knowledge vanquishes the knot of the heart. Matter and spirit are knotted by false ego. This identification of oneself with the matter, which is called Hridaya Granthi, exists for all conditioned souls and becomes more and more tightened when there is too much affection for sexual life. The explanation was given by Lord Rishabha to his sons that this material world is an atmosphere of attraction between male and female. That attraction takes the shape of a knot in the heart, and by material affection it becomes still more tight. For people who hanker after material possession, society, friendship, and love, this knot of affection becomes very strong. It is only by Brahma Bhavana, the instruction by which spiritual knowledge is enhanced, that the knot in the heart is cut to pieces. No material weapon is needed to cut this knot, but it requires bona fide spiritual instruction. Kardama Muni instructed his wife Devahuti that the Lord would appear as her son and disseminate spiritual knowledge to cut the knot of material identification. Text 5. Maitreya Uvacha Devahuti api sandesham Gauravena prajapatehi Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham Kutastam Abhajad Gurum. Maitreya Uvacha, Maitreya said, Devahuti, api also, Sandesham, the direction, Gauravena, with great respect. Prajapatehe, of Kardama, Samya, complete, Shraddhaya, having faith in. Purusham, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kutastam, situated in everyone's heart. Abhajad, worshipped. Gurum, most worshipable. Translation: Sri Maitreya said, Devahuti was full faithful and respectful toward the direction of her husband, Haradama, who was one of the Prajapatis or generators of human beings in the universe. O great sage, she thus began to worship the master of the universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is situated in everyone's heart. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This is the process of spiritual realization. One has to receive instruction from a bona fide spiritual master. Kardama Muni was Devahuti's husband, but because he instructed her on how to achieve spiritual perfection, he naturally became her spiritual master also. There are many instances wherein the husband becomes the spiritual master. Lord Shiva also is the spiritual master of his consort Parvati. A husband should be so enlightened that he should become the spiritual master of his wife in order to enlighten her in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. Generally, Sri or woman is less intelligent than men. Therefore, if the husband is intelligent enough, the woman gets a great opportunity for spiritual enlightenment. Here it is clearly said, Samyak Shraddhaya, that with great faith one should receive knowledge from the spiritual master and with great faith execute the performance of service. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura, in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, has especially stressed the instruction of the spiritual master. One should accept the instruction of the spiritual master as one's life and soul, whether one is liberated or not liberated. One should execute the instruction of the spiritual master with great faith. It is also stated that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart. One does not have to seek the Lord outside. He is already there. One simply has to concentrate on one's worship in good faith. As instructed by the bona fide spiritual master, one's efforts will come out successfully. It is also clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not appear as an ordinary child. He appears as he is. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, he appears by his own internal potency, Atma Maya. And how does he appear? He appears when pleased by the worship of a devotee. A devotee may ask the Lord to appear as her son. The Lord is already sitting within the heart, and if he comes out from the body of a devotee, it does not mean that the particular woman becomes his mother in the material sense. He is always there, but in order to please his devotee, he appears as her son. Text 6, Canto 3, Chapter 24. Tasyam bahuti te kale Bhagavan Madhusudana Khardamam Viryam Apanno Jagnigni Vadaruni. Tasyam in Devahuti, Bahuti te kale, after many years, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Madhusudana, the killer of the demon Madhu, Kardamam, of Kardama, Viryam, the semen, Apannaha, entered, Yagne, he appeared, Agni, fire, Iva, like Dharuni, in wood. After many, many years, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Madhusudana, the killer of the demon Madhu, having entered into the semen of Kardama, appeared in Devahuti just as a fire comes from the wood in sacrifice. Purport: it's clearly stated here that the Lord is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he appeared as the son of Kardama Muni, fire is already present in wood, but by a certain process, fire is kindled. Similarly, God is all pervading, he is everywhere, and since he may come out from everything, he appeared in his devotee semen. Just as an ordinary living entity takes his birth by taking shelter of the semen of a certain living entity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts the shelter of the semen of his devotee and comes out as his son. This manifests his full independence to act in any way. And it doesn't mean that he is an ordinary living entity forced to take birth in a certain type of womb. Lord Narasimha appeared from the pillar of Hiranyakasipu palace. Lord Varaha appeared from the nostril of Brahma. And Lord Kapila appeared from the semen of Kardama. But this does not mean that the nostril of Brahma or the pillar of the Hiranyakasipu's place or the semen of Kardama Muni is the source of the appearance of the Lord. The Lord is always the Lord. Bhagavan Madhusudana, he is the killer of all kinds of demons. And he always remains the Lord, even he appears as the son of a particular devotee. The word Kardamam is significant, for it indicates the Lord had some devotional affection or relationship in devotional service with Kardama and Devahuti. But we should not mistakenly understand that he was born just like an ordinary living entity from the semen of Kardama Muni in the womb of Devahuti. Text 7, Canto 3, Chapter 24. Avadayam sada vyomni vaditrani gana ganaha gayanti tamsma gandharva nrutyanti apsaraso mudam. Avadayan sounded tada at that time, vyomni in the sky, vaditrani musical instruments, gana ganaha the rain clouds, gayanti sang, tham to him, sma certainly, gandharva the gandharvas, nrutyanti danced, apsarasa the apsaras, muda in joyful ecstasy. Translation: at the time of his descent on earth, demigods in the form of raining clouds sounded musical instruments in the sky. The celestial musicians, the Gandharvas, sang the glories of the Lord, while celestial dancing girls, known as Apsaras, danced in joyful ecstasy. Text 8, Canto 3, Chapter 24. Petu sumanaso divya खेचरैः अपवर्जिताः प्रसदिश्चो दिशा सर्वा अम्बांश्च मानांसि च. Petu fell, Sumanasaha flowers, Divyaha beautiful, Kecharaihi by the demigods who fly in the sky. Apavarjita dropped, Prasedu became satisfied, Cha and Dishaha direction, Sarva all, Ambamsi waters, Cha and Manamsi minds, Cha and. Translation: at the time of the Lord's appearance, the demigods flying freely in the sky showered flowers. All the directions, all the waters, and everyone's mind became very satisfied. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is learned here with that the higher the sky, there are living entities who can travel through the air without being hampered. Although we can travel in outer space, we are hampered by so many impediments, but they are not. We learn from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam that the inhabitants of the planet called Siddhaloka can travel in space from one planet to another without impediment. They showered flowers on the earth when Lord Kapila, the son of Kardama, appeared. Text 9. Tat Kardama padam Saraswatya parisritam Swayambhu shakam rishibir marichi adivir abhyayat. Tad that Kardama of Kardama ashrama padan to the place of the hermitage, Saraswatya by the river Saraswati, Parishritam surrounded, Swayambhu Brahma the self-born, Shakam along with, Rishibhi sages, Marichi the great sage Marichi, Adibhi and others, Abhyayad he came there. Translation: Brahma the firstborn living being, went along with Marichi and other sages to the place of Kardama's hermitage, which was surrounded by the river Saraswati. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Brahma is called Swayambhu because he is not born of any material father and mother. He is the first living creation and is born from the lotus which grows from the abdomen of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Therefore, he is called Swayambhu, self-born. Today we read up to Canto 3, Chapter 24, Text 9. We'll continue reading tomorrow. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So we'll continue to Guru Puja. Hare Krishna.